What's up, Capwatids? We're back.
It's your favorite Ates, and welcome to season 4.
For those just tuning in, we are two Filipinx soul sisters on a decolonizing journey, currently based on Turtle Island, aka North America.
We met each other again this lifetime in a healing circle, and that's how the Babaylan Bruja Book Club podcast was born.
This season, we did something a little different by engaging in a series of study break conversations with honored artists, authors, and thought leaders in the Filipinx diaspora.
We enjoyed connecting with Kapwa with different perspectives and viewpoints, and we're so excited to extend these conversations to you. So before we begin today, we want to take a moment for grounding and gratitude. So if it is safe for you, wherever you are, we invite you to close your eyes. And if you aren't able to do that, perhaps if you are driving or doing things around the house, just invite you to take a moment to take in your surroundings and become present in your body. If it feels good for you, I invite you to place your hand on your heart, maybe one hand on your belly space, and take some deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. One more time, deep inhale in and exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. And I invite you to continue to take deep and cleansing breaths in your own timing. And as you breathe, I invite you to imagine roots growing into the ground. And anything that you are carrying, I invite you just to offer it to Mother Earth today. We want to thank all of the ancestors of the lands that we are on and our own benevolent ancestors and our guides. We extend gratitude to them as we begin our conversation. And we also extend gratitude to you, Kapwatid, wherever you are. Hi, Sissy Sis.
Hi, Sissy Sis.
Oh my gosh, it's been timelines and lifetimes.
Timelines, lifetimes, realms.
Yeah. Hairstyles.
Hairstyles. Y'all need to go on YouTube and check out Sis. She's rocking the cherry cola short hair girl.
Short hair. I'm a short hair girly now.
And the velvet, okay. Velvet maroon halter top.
Yeah. But yeah.
But we're here. We're back. We've been here. We came back into this timeline.
Mm-hmm. So we just thought we would update everybody, pop in and say, hey, update everybody on what we've been up to personally. And then we wanted to chat about a movie that came out called 1521. It was in theaters for like a hot second.
One day. In honor of Filipino History Month. Yes.
So it was called 1521. So you can imagine what it's about. And since we just finished the book by Ate Judy Robinson, 1521, Rediscovering the History of the Philippines, we thought we'd watch the movie. Steph and I watched it separately, of course, since we're not together. That would have been fun if we were together, but we took
Spiritually.
And we're just, eventually. But we're just going to talk about the movie, but we thought we'd just catch you up on our lives. In case you were caring or wondering.
What we've been up to. And as a disclaimer, we did not know the movie was coming out. It was synchronistically aligned. Shout out to Kuya Robs for informing the masses, aka me and Ate Imes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like a 2-day coordinating thing, like us trying to make time. It came out, for those who are wondering, October, what is
Second.
it, 2nd? Yeah, and then I think the announcement was like August 31st or something. It was poorly marketed, obviously, and it was only showing one time across the nation in theaters for at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. Yeah, that was it. 7 p.m. in
So
all
if you
time.
are right, no Filipino time, okay? It was just one time.
Yeah. Oh,
So if you're listening to this and you managed to catch it too, leave us a comment and let us know what you thought.
yeah.
'Cause that's what we're gonna dive into today, as well as update y'all on what we've been up to. So, in respect to all the timeline jumping, and I'll speak for me, ego death, and things on our plates as who we are existing in this space. I don't know, sis, you want to reintroduce yourself to the Jay-Z song?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are you? For those coming into this community, who are you? What do you do? And why do you think it's important? We're going to talk about 1521
Yeah.
today.
Okay. All right. So, wow, I haven't done this in a while. So, my name is Aimee. Some people call me Ate Aimee, and my pronouns are she, her. I currently reside on the ancestral lands of the Shawnee, Miami, Wyandotte, Delaware, and the mound builders that are the Hopewell and the Adena. Also known as, contemporarily known as Columbus, Ohio. And what do I do? Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm a mother of two. I am a partner. I own the Mayari Moon, and I teach Kali or Eskrima, Arnis, Filipino martial arts, but I teach that as a spiritual practice to support yourself in ancestral remembrance and ancestral healing, and then just personally, like a somatic release, an embodiment of certain energies. So that is what I do. Me and Sissy Sis have been doing this podcast for what, like 3, coming on 3?
Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah,
launched it in 2021, but
yeah,
it was birthing in 2020, end of
yeah,
2020.
yeah. So, um, and I know we've been doing a series of study breaks, and so Sis and I have just been kind of resting and honoring our rhythms, and also the different things that have popped up in our lives lately. So uh why I think that's a great question. Why do I think this is important to talk about? Why do I think this is important, period? I just feel like there are a lot of stories and voices out there right now talking about decolonization, but I feel like everybody's voice is important, and some people may resonate with us, and some people may not, and that is okay. But
Yeah.
I like to think that adding our voices, my voice, to the choir of opinions and stories out there will help other people, descendants down the road, people who are searching, trying to figure out their roots and such. And so that's why I think it's important. And plus, I get to talk to my sis. And that's important to me, honestly. We were just talking about this offline, how sisterhood, relationships, familiar ties, those are very important. And even whether or not you're blood related or not, Sissy Sis and I aren't necessarily blood related, but I mean, we were back in the day, somewhere down the line. We're both
Yeah.
from Visayas, so
Past life,
somewhere,
different
yeah,
village.
yes, and past life too. So, as far as what I've been up to, let's see.
Mm.
Listen, not to go too much into detail, but this whole ass calendar year has been a little bit challenging for your Ati Aimee. There have been a lot of lots of healing, just like more of it, more in depth of all of the healings, you know, how healings cycles go. But I don't know, this year kind of sat me down on my ass. And recently, the Aries full moon was just recently. And my guides and ancestors were kind of like, okay, you need to remember who you are, though. Like, get up. This kind of actually ties into the movie. I'll talk about it later. But so at this moment, I am practicing living in a new timeline. I am practicing gratitude. I am practicing noticing when I am falling into old thought patterns and kind of like thinking that and releasing it and remembering. We're like literally remembering who I am. So that's where I've been. So everything, there's just internal, it's just like internal work this year, internal updates. I haven't had like a Kali container in a while, and that's okay. So but that's about it. Yeah.
You're complete.
Yeah.
You're complete.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing, sis. Yeah. We were talking about how you know, the system that we're in this timeline, this capitalistic patriarchal go, produce, you know, kind of caught your authors at some point while we were trying to, you know, fulfill whatever purpose and obligations we also have in this reality. And what better to have a decolonizing podcast than to honor, right, that we don't have to produce,
Yes.
right? And y'all got like 50 episodes to listen to anyway, if you want to, right? So you know, I think it was divinely timed. Everything in my opinion is divinely timed and guided and always. And so I think, you know, we wouldn't be moving from authenticity and integrity if we weren't honoring our own processes as well. And that is not just the podcast. That's, you know, I me being all that she says she does and she is. I myself, so I'm Stephanie. I'm at the Steph. I am currently residing on the Baby Walk Yokuts land in the Bay Area of California. Yes, it's still the Bay Area for any haters out there. We're on the news. Also known as Antioch Brentwood. I am a grad school LMFT trainee. I am completing my hours right now for licensure. I am a wellness coach, advocate. What else do I do? I am focusing on my fitness right now. My messages have been take care of your vessel. And I've had a couple health wins in the past month, which has shown me that the work I've been doing, words are spells, y'all, and the things we eat, we consume mentally, physically, truly does affect your vessel. So that's the spaces I've been in primarily. I also run this decolonizing podcast with Sissy. We met in a healing circle in 2020, and I don't know, divine synchronicities allowed us to get together and produce what we have so far. And then what else? I'm not go there yet. I'm an Aquarius, Sagittarius, Gemini. That's my big three. I used to say like age, sex. It's my big three. Your ASL. And since you gotta let them know yours because you didn't name them, but
so I am a Cancer Sun, Scorpio Moon, and Aquarius Rising.
Yeah. So as you all caught, we got a lot of air in us, and
that's why we talk.
That's why we talk. We just want to talk, you know.
We just want to
talk. What else do I love? Herbalism. It has been pivotal in my own healing process. Dealing my own chronic conditions, which I believe are lineage and ancestrally inherited, but I am transmuting it and have healed it. I live with cured called Diseases. What else? Yeah, grad student. Shit, I work in the matrix, but it has its pros and cons, you know. I live in the Bay. I'm a California girl. The generator, human design. I also study under an energy practitioner, Miriam Hasna, and a lot of her teachings come through for my energy practices. I also love that she says, you know, archetypes are there, but they're not necessarily all that defines us, because I do believe we're multidimensional creatives, and whether or not you are moving in your purpose or fulfillment, or you're finding it right now, it'll all come.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I'm a cultural bearer for this. I'm a piece, like Sis said, in the song of collective liberation and remembrance, freedom. Um, you can always, like I say, I should probably trademark this, take or toss the things we say. And it's all right. And if you have voices you want to contribute to us too, yeah, we're open to always sitting down, listening. And that's what landed this podcast project. So we read 1521, and then it became a movie. As we were like recording through the chapters too, we were like, oh, this would be dope as a movie, and then it manifested as a movie.
I know, that's what. So Steph kept saying, because there's this one particular character that keeps showing up in the book, and his name is Enrique. And Sis kept saying, someone needs to make a movie about Enrique. So the movie came out, and I was, because I'm in the time zone, my 7 p.m. comes before Steph's 7 p.m. So I was texting her in the movie, like, I think this movie's about Enrique.
I
Like,
know.
do
Yeah.
that?
I know. Okay. The juicy stuff. We go get into it, y'all. So we just wanted to reintroduce ourselves, let you know what we do, who we be, where we've come, where we are, where we are destined to be. Who knows? God the Tala willing.
Oh, sorry.
You saying something, Sis?
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm just so proud of you, Sis, for, like, as you were saying, who you are, and like all the stuff that you do. And you know, we've been doing this podcast, and Sis has been like in school and like doing hours and like what? So I just want to say, I just wanted to put that in there.
Thank you, Sis. Thank you. I receive those flowers. I send them back to you too. Being a mom and running a household and your own poly containers and your own offerings and doing this podcast too. It's been a lot. And I think the slowdown was a way of us being honoring decolonizing, right? So, and I'm hoping to have offerings out soon too, that, you know, per Western Eurocentric standards, I have to have this licensure.
And you will.
But it'll be epic once my offerings come online.
That's right.
We're brewing, you know, brew gotta brew sometimes.
So. Yes. brew gotta brew. Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been up to. That's who we are. If you that's who we are today. That's who we are today.
Facts.
Okay, so next year this time we're gonna be better. We're gonna be doing other things. So we'll do another intro again next year, you know?
Yeah. And if you're listening, come on YouTube, because again, we might look different. My hair has been changing, Sis' hair has been changing. And that is part of your spiritual journey too. So
yeah, just changing your avatar. That it's energetically, it helps you change as well. So
yes.
Okay, well, let's jump in to this movie, shall we?
Yeah, they're like, stop talking. Talk about this movie. And if you like watch it later too, let us know what you think, because this is kind of special, Sis. I feel like kind of exclusive. Like, you know, again, it was like divinely, it wasn't anything, and there was like no way to like hop on. I don't know, we could have done that, huh?
What?
Go watch 1521, like hopped on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, but again, we were doing our thing. We're out.
I know. You was running like
We were decolonizing.
someone. We were
We were decolonizing.
right. We were decolonizing. We didn't have time. I know. Pop on that portal but that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Something to think about because it would have been nice to have like a larger community. Because y'all, this book was like, again, shout out to Ate Judy for putting this together. It really made the movie make more sense.
Yes.
So I was able to be like, oh, okay, that time they're talking about that piece of history. There's some things intertwined. It had hints of, it was giving Pocahontas, John Smith and Pocahontas, and Romeo and Juliet. It was written by white people, interestingly. I looked them up. They're like in LA.
Oh,
I want to believe they had great intentions. I don't know what their intentions were to make this movie. We got our critiques and our our things we want to give credit for. So
there, like Sis said, that it was giving Pocahontas, John Smith. So they're the two main characters. So one of them was Enrique, who we knew is an actual character from history, right? He was the servant of Magellan. So he was actually Magellan's right hand person. And they had picked him up from that part of the world, like Indonesia. I don't know if he was necessarily Filipino, but I think it was Indonesia, wasn't it?
In the movie, they made it sound like he was part of their village, but yeah, I think he came from like, because the original endeavor for Magellan was to go to the Spices Island, not to be in the Philippines, and he stumbled there. So but yes, Enrique was his interpreter.
So he was the interpreter, and I think
son.
Yeah, because he was with him for so long. Like I think that Magellan got Enrique when Enrique was like 8 or 10, something like that, like young. And so and I think there was like provisions for when Magellan passed that Enrique would get some sort of something, which was a rare thing.
I'm feeling called to pull up the cast too.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Enrique was cute. Okay.
Listen.
He was like teen heartthrob. Like,
okay, so Enrique in the village. Okay, so let me go back. So it's Enrique, and then there's a Babaylan named Diwata. So we'll talk about her. I have some anyway, but that's the two main characters that were giving like Pocahontas, John Smith energy. So spoiler alert.
This is all spoiler alert, really.
Spoiler alert. The movie opens, and so it's like Diwata and Enrique in the future, right? They're in the future, and then she has a flashback to pre-colonial times, and that's who they were in pre-colonial times.
And then that's the movie setting for like all, like 95% of it, 99, whatever.
And Enrique had the worst spray tan, fake tan.
Stop it. Okay, let me show you. His actor name is Hector David Jr.
Yeah, he's actually super cute. There he is.
He's cute.
Yeah. So
my oil stains. Okay.
In pre-colonial,
this is Babaylan, or
Diwata, Bay
Alonso.
So Enrique, like in the pre-colonial times, first of all, can I just say, why did they make his outfit so like they could?
It was giving Michael's. Let's find those silver sparkly things and let's like sew it.
It was like, I was telling Rob, I was like, so we go to the Renaissance Festival every year here.
Oh, not the Renaissance.
And it's so but listen, the costumes that we put together, that other regular people put together for the Renaissance Festival were better than that. I was like, they could have just like put him in a flowy shirt and like some pants. Like, what was this brick-brac like stuff?
It was like what is it like when you make costumes that have that hard, like, I'm not a costume. We're clearly not costume design folks, but yeah. And then you buy like those shiny, like border things that like on your scrapbooks.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
I was like, what's the budget for this film? Because It looked like they just like went to Michael's and picked up the materials, and I mean it's from like some scenes, sis, far away. It looked okay. It wasn't like
It, but
the
I was
movie
just
you're
like,
asking. I don't know.
what is your budget, friend? It was this one. It was literally this. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? But wasn't it? It was
It's
like
like,
this. It was
girl,
like,
it reminded me of my Lola. She bedazzled her shirts, like she'd sew sequins on, right? Like
yeah,
imagine sewing on a line of sequins on this
yeah.
basic ass fabric. Like,
So I thought they did him dirty, and then they gave him a fake ass tan, right? But
so
then
bad.
at the end of the movie,
Oh, the slow mo coming out
where he
the
came out the pool, I was like, oh, Enrique 2023.
I,
Okay. Hello, Enrique
he
2020.
lived his best life coming out. I know. They had to do that. I wasn't mad. I mean, he's
No.
probably like 20 something, but I was like, oh, go ahead, Diwata. Get your
Yeah.
man. Just,
Okay. I was like, okay, yeah.
and she was like, I mean, the way that she came into the movie, she was dressed in all white, of course.
Yeah.
She was dancing, I think, Sinkil. She was the princess. So, and then when Enrique saw her at I think it was like one of the scenes is, them, the Spaniards came, they posted, and then the Filipinos, or it wasn't Filipinos, Mayans, whatever y'all want to refer them to,
Pre-colonial. Our pre-colonial.
pre-colonial, yep. They invited them to come into the village to feast, and so they did performances. They had a lechon going, and then Enrique was there translating for Magellan, and he saw Diwata, and it was just funny. Like the camera work too. Like make sure your eyes bulge out, right? Because he was like, oh, like, oh,
Wait, oh no. Um, but yeah, so Diwata is supposed to be, I think she was a princess, but she was also supposed to be a Babaylan. So
yeah,
she's the Babaylan of the, but
village.
honestly, like I feel
All
like they
right.
made her look weak, honestly.
Oh,
Made her look, I'm sorry, but like, okay, so first of all,
why
she
did she have tats?
that's what I'm saying. Why did one?
It was giving. Okay, sorry, sis.
No, no,
Just
go, 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 go.
let's quickly say no discrimination or disrespect to my sisters out there that are light skinned. But why is it always a light skinned female as the main character and always like the savior and the very like, haha, feminine, like beautiful? Like that was her, and that's there's nothing wrong with that because it's all in us, right?
Yes,
That's within me too. Okay, sis, we
yes,
have it, the divine feminine. But
yes.
they could have given her at least. Did she have like one tat? At least one, right, on
No,
her arm.
she didn't have any tats. And honestly, like the Babaylan, they were strong leaders in the community. And at one point, Enrique was like, "Run away with me," and she was like, "Okay." And me and my friend, who like we were in the movie theater, we looked at each other like that is legitimately not what a Babaylan would do. They
Yeah.
are there for their community, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Where's your intuition, girl? Like, girl, where's your intuition? Like."
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a scene where she was doing Kali.
Stop. It was like, I know you could say. Go ahead.
I was like, oh,
What's your critique?
they could have at least like taught her some moves to like make her look like she knew what she was doing.
She
It's
had the 1-2,
yeah,
right?
one
Not the
too,
three
but
four though.
I'm just like they just made her look really they just made her look really weak, and I didn't appreciate that. That's all.
Yeah.
Not that like being again, not that being feminine is like quote unquote weak, but for the role of who we know the Babaylan is in the
Right.
pre-colonial village
Right.
with our pre-colonial ancestors. They are strong, they are connected. A lot of the Babaylan like went into battle. Some of the Babaylan worked with the chiefs closely to give them
Which she did.
advice and stuff, and which she did, right? She
There
did.
was one scene she did. She advised Lapu Lapu. Sorry, sis.
No, go, go,
She
go.
advised Lapu. She didn't. She advised Lapu Lapu, and that's like probably the one line I liked from her the entire movie. Like she did not turn on her people, and she invited them. She was like, I think the Spaniards coming in is going to be all bad, basically. She told Lapu Lapu like it's real, even though her man was on the other quote team, because they were clearly involved at that point when she advised Lapu Lapu, because Lapu Lapu counseled her, which I thought was cool. And then I mean, I 100% says like she would have been out there doing Kali, Estrema. She likes, I don't know, some randoms in some war scene pushed her down and she like fell and was crying. Like,
yeah. Okay, I want to come back to that scene, but I want to talk about her outfit real quick. Why was it straight up Moana? Like the whole outfit was just, the skirt was printed on. Like,
do we have it? I'm gonna see. I took
it looks straight up like Moana. Her outfit, like they could have.
Show the people. Let me find one. I think.
Show the people, and then I'm gonna pull up these. Tattoos. These.
Oh Lord.
These gentlemen had.
Wait, it was October 2nd. Bear with us, everybody.
Well, so
okay, here I got one because I took it. Don't sue me. This is their outfit, okay?
It's there's tassels on the end of her skirt, and at one point they like did a close-up on her skirt, and it was like clearly printed on, like with ink, the pattern. You know what I mean?
Her hair was giving fairy, like, I don't know, fairy.
There's nothing wrong with fairies, again. However, this is a Babaylan. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and to be fair, that's a rendition of what a Babaylan could look like. But and then here's this close up of her skin tone. I mean, next to Amy. lean more to your left, sis.
This way.
Come closer. Yep. See, do you see our brownness? Granted, this is like movie screen, so it's a little bit of blue hints, but she was just like, were they in the Philippines? Wasn't the sun out a lot? Like,
yeah.
Why is she so light?
Yeah,
and again, no disrespect to the sisters who are, but
no disrespect, but it's a commentary on how even in a movie where they're portraying pre-colonial Philippines, the movie industry feels as if they need to put a lead actress who is lighter. So that is the critique there, instead of,
where the browner curvy women at? Because they were eating pork and rice. Like, come on now.
Oh, okay. Can I am not a costumer, but can I just go on this costume kick just real quick? 2 more comments, okay? So the other chief, not Lapu Lapu, but what is the other chief's name?
The brother?
Humaban.
Yeah, Humaban. And so Humaban and Lapu Lapu were obviously big leaders in the community.
Yes.
And Humaban was more, he plays the character that is ascribing to kind of like what's going on, y'all. I'm not going to go in that thing, Gaza, but giving into the oppressors, thinking of them as a alibi or ally. And Lapu Lapu is not with it. Like, fuck them.
Yeah. So Humaban, they put a, what is this? Like a bandana on his head. Okay. And then they said, give this man earrings, but give him hoop earrings. But they did not. He did not. They could have given him clip earrings if he didn't have his ears pierced. They just put it. Okay, so you need to come to the YouTube. So say like this is where the help me, the bandana or whatever, because he had like a bandana situation. They just hooked the fucking earring onto the bandana so it would hang right here so that it would look like he had his.
You were really paying attention to him, because I didn't. He was annoying me. I was like, whatever.
I couldn't stop looking at all the bad costuming.
Well, let's talk about the Sharpie tattoos. Because that was straight disrespectful. Okay.
Oh
Like,
my God.
that's why I started texting. I was like, why do they look like the tattoos were Sharpied? And there were bad scenes where I don't know if they were. Look, I've been in like movie production or whatever. Was he backstage? Did they just not be able to like to color in one of the tats? Because he appeared in a different scene, Lapu Lapu and Pela Lapu Lapu, and one of it's on his chest. Come on now, it's like straight look at me, and it's colored in, but there's scenes where it's not, and these lines are just terrible. Like
The lines are terrible. They're super dark. Like,
already.
yeah.
That's why I said come to the YouTube.
Like, yeah, he was giving Maui from Moana.
Look at him. Yeah, that's Maui.
But why was it so dark? I'm like, they could, and then they had a battle, and I swear some of his tattoos were running, like the ink was running.
Stop.
After
the brother had some good ones. So Dewata had a brother, and he looked like this. He was like Okuya, right?
Yeah.
But see, look at his tats. They're a little bit more like, okay, that's natural.
Yeah.
But why was Lapu Lapu why did he have to be Maui though? Like,
yeah,
maybe a little more original.
And then so they had a bunch of warriors, Lapu Lapu's warriors. One of the warriors just straight up had like a Sharpied figure of a wave on his chest.
Oh goodness.
And then
I got a picture of sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I have a picture of Enrique's outfit, y'all. This is the lining we're talking about.
Yes.
This is the
I'm like I understand that maybe the budget wasn't $1 million.
That's Ash from the Japanese. Anyways, yeah.
I understand that it wasn't like maybe $1 million, like it probably was not as big of a budget. However, you could have gone to fucking Amazon and looked up like pirate shirt, and that would have looked way.
But he looks cute though. Look at Enrique. I was like, oh,
he's cute.
Again, heartthrob.
He's cute.
Heartthrob. I watched it with some Bay sisters, and they were not feeling him. Lapu Lapu was Zanny because he was just very like, nah, it's land or die. Like,
yeah,
it's that very like, I'm going out on my land. I'm not selling out for nobody kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, but what was up with his warriors though? I'm like, they couldn't find some buff ass Filipino men. I know some out there.
Wait, the same picture. We're coming back to Diwata. Look at brother in the background. Where was he in the war scenes? That's what I want to know. I should have painted my nails before we recorded. Where was he? Look at that back. Like,
I know.
And honestly, who was recruiting? Why didn't they go through like LA, Filipino town gyms?
That's what I was thinking.
Daly City gyms. There's some brown brothers in there with some muscles. Like, no, again, we're not trying to body shame men in there, but it's just the
representation.
It matters, and it looked like it was a bunch of like, I don't know, 12, 14, 15-year-old young.
Yeah. And while there would be young men in pre-colonial Philippines who were warriors, I don't know. What we're saying is not to body shame anyone. The representation could have been a little bit stronger. We're trying.
Where was he? Where was he? He was not there. They probably like didn't want to pay him extra a check.
I would have paid him extra.
He's like, I'm not available the day you do the war scene, so sorry.
Oh,
Find and see if there's like any warriors that we're talking about that they were just really,
it was giving school play.
Yeah,
that's
school play is it, sis. Like,
oh my gosh,
the wardrobe was a miss overall. They tried for effort, right? But it was school play.
But but like in October in Filipino American History Month, you're gonna do us like that? That's why. Like, what the fuck?
I was like, who produced this shit? Who wrote this shit? And it was, again, Diwata and Enrique. It was very much more a story centered around them. It wasn't like they had snippets of this is what happened with Magellan, Can I just say though, I want to shout out the actor Danny Trejo. He was
Yeah,
Ferdinand Magellan, and he did a great job.
he
And
did.
because his face is already like villainous, I think, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that
he
was
did a great
freaking
job.
Magellan, y'all.
Good job with that casting.
Yeah, he was a great one. I'm surprised that is it Michael? Yeah, this is Lapu Lapu. I wish he was a little browner, but that's just me. But that was Lapu Lapu that y'all saw as Maui. We'll go back. We'll go. That's Maui.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, and
Maui Lapu Lapu.
and then they had I don't know, Maricel Laux. I think that was the sister of Diwata's brother.
Yeah, yeah,
She was more of like I understand. She was like a supporting role, I think,
yeah,
like
yeah.
a buffer. They
Huma Bon,
didn't, yeah.
who played Huma Bon's wife? She was not as light
They don't
skinned.
have pictures. Aaron Caresi and Sol Eugenio. Because it says Datu
They don't have.
for Sol. And I think that had to be Humaban. But it's 1521, The Quest for Love and
Yes.
Freedom.
Yeah. So the book is 1521, Rediscovering the History of the Philippines. The movie is 1521, The Quest for Love. So
And
they tried
freedom.
to make the whole thing into a love story, which is fine. Again,
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort. And oh my gosh, if the people who made this movie ever listen to this, they're
We
probably
tore you apart a little bit.
they're probably like, well, then you do it.
I would advocate for more money. I mean, I don't know. Like again, E for effort, but E plus, that's not even a grade. But I'm just saying, like, it's a little disrespectful.
Just a tiny bit.
Costume,
Yeah.
the recruitment of warriors, the
Yes.
scene on the beach. What they did some war scenes on the beach. It was all right.
Those
I
are
think the ones where they obviously centered was it Humaban, obviously Lapu Lapu Magellan scene. Oh, I wanted more like magic. There's more mysticism to pre-colonial history.
yeah.
After Judy mentions it in the book, like it's towards the end. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. Let's see if I find it. But you know, like the way she portrayed it, based upon what the historians had reported, there were like they wrote about how there were like sea stars. What the hell are they called? Um,
Sea star?
not star seeds.
Starfish.
Starfish and fishes and like birds, like they were also involved in the war. And the way they also had the war, it was just very like we're on the beach and we're fighting now. And it's like, no. And Lapu Lapu was not there. Like he was like, I'm not fucking with this at all. You know what I mean? He was actually, I think, in a way avoiding, but he was in the scenes. He was in the scenes when um freaking Magellan made them bow to Catholicism and put the cross on there and
Yeah,
stuff.
and he wasn't there in
He
the.
wasn't there, but he was there in the movie. And that I think that's when what's her name, Diwata was like feeling her community
Yeah,
crumble,
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever her scene was. But that was hard to watch. That was a little hard to watch. And I was actually with the sister who is very immersed in the church, so it was a little hard for her to watch too. Um, but I want to come back to the war scene. It was very descriptive in the book. Like there were moats, right? There were waterways that the Filipinos were much more strategic,
Yeah.
and they were gone. They're like, we're not trying to fight.
Yeah, and then the Spaniards came into the water with all of their armor on, and that's how we were the pre-colonial Philippines was Filipinos were able to defeat them because walking through water with armor is
Metals, fuck,
yeah,
heavy.
that's
They
not
did, they did kind of portray Magellan's dying scene, right? Because all the warriors like had weakened him, and then when Lapu Lapu and him hit, like Lapu Lapu was like the final hit, but
no finish
right,
it.
finish him. It was very, yeah. Those scenes weren't as bad, I think. But the romance scene, I wasn't feeling it. It was star-crossed lovers. We're not supposed to be together, but we are. We're from different worlds, but we are. And I get love is love. but the whole like running in the middle of a war scene, like they had Enrique run on shore, and then they had Duwata run. They thought they were dead. So it's so Romeo and Juliet, right? They thought each other was dead already, but then they came in freaking the final war scene, and they ran toward each other. And then there was this like some type of understanding. I don't know what the fuck. Then they died and they woke up and they were like
Yeah.
in some dreamy ass hotel. And you got Enrique coming out the water.
Yeah. I was
All
like,
good.
oh, they had redeemed themselves at the end. Enrique. But yeah,
I
yeah. So there was this one scene with Diwata where so the Spaniards had gone to another village and had burned the village to the ground, and Diwata comes upon one of the Spaniards. Trigger warning, everybody take a deep breath.
yeah.
Like assaulting one of the
Yep.
women, the villager women. So Diwata comes in and helps the woman escape. But after the woman escapes, the Spaniard guy basically just trips Diwata. I'm not really sure. But then she like just fell on the ground and stayed there. And she was just like, oh, like just and
Sorry, I'm not.
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't
We
mean,
wanted more. We wanted more from Diwata. Like
yeah, we wanted more. But
get up, use your 1-2, hit him in the.
yeah, she just laid there. And then the Spaniard guy was like, okay, and then just walked away. And then
I
she
know
just fell asleep or
it
something. Like
was
they just
bad, y'all.
fell,
It
she
was
laid
just
down.
it was. She's like, I'm gonna go to bed, and then Enrique was running around like, is she dead? And
Yeah. And so that scene, I was looking at her and I think I even said it under my breath. I was like, get up. You are a Babaylan, right? Like you're more powerful than that. Let's like get up. And then just like I feel you know how sometimes your guides are so funny, right? They're just like my guides are hilarious.
mm-hmm.
They looked at that scene and they were like, yeah, I mean, get up. You are powerful. What are you doing? Just like laying on the ground after all of
Mm-hmm.
this. You've gone through so much in your life. You can get up. Like this has been
Yeah,
hard, but you can get up. So I was like, oh, okay. Touche.
the movie hit you like that, sis.
Just that for one. That's one. Just that one particular scene because I was just clowning on her, like, "Get up, girl! Like, you okay?" And then my guides are like, "Yeah, are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Um, mine isn't as funny to regurgitate, but I think what hit me is like the love that they had for each other that they did such a bad job at like portraying. But I get it. Like um he's like, I can't, it's like I can't live without you kind of love, but
Yeah,
like I think like it's the message of, is death the worst thing they both could have done, right? Because they
yeah,
ended up waking up in a different timeline in some like luxury hotel with, again, Enrique coming out the water slow mo with no shirt and just all wet and stuff, and very
yeah,
very chill. But and Duwata's all pretty with the flower in her hair, Like in the end, they're together and they're like in a different. They transcended to different timelines. So to me, that was like, wow, when you do find that love,
mhm.
is it worth dying for? Is it worth? Y'all gonna? I'll be like, you gonna meet me in a different timeline anyway. Fuck this timeline. Like, forget all these people, especially with the way they like reconciled, and then the warriors were in the background. I don't know if the director was trying to make it look dope. It just looked corny as hell to me. I don't know. It's just like, damn well in real life they'd be like, "Fuck your love." Like we try to kill right now. Like
Yeah,
especially when men or warriors get turned on to kill. Like
yeah. It's live. It's different. It's
yeah,
private.
it's primal. But there were good scenes, I think, on the ship when Magellan was counseling his folks. Enrique was there. Enrique was born. There was some. I had sympathy for him
I
because
did too.
he's
Yeah,
he's trying to be this I think divine masculine showed up in Enrique and Lapu Lapu, right?
yeah.
They both, and in some ways, he's still a sellout Humabon because he's just they're thinking about survival. They're thinking about the betterment of. and their definition, their perspective of betterment is different. You know, Humabon's thinking about this better. This is gonna make our trade better. We're gonna partner with Spain. They got power. They got ports. They'll come here. They'll bring money. You
Mhm.
know, Lapu Lapu's like, no, our people matter. We don't bow down to anybody. We're royal. You know, he keeps
Yeah.
that. And then Enrique brought the whole like, let's not fight. Like, why can't we be in partnership when he's
Yeah.
actually dipping into spaces with very toxic colonial imperialist men who are like, fuck this, we conquer and they're ours, like kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. And I think, just like we saw in when we were reading the book, there's nothing wrong with making good trade and good business deals, but it's like at what cost? So
Right.
in the book and in the movie, when Magellan came to set up a cross in the middle of the village of Humabon's village, and then they burned all of the anitos, all of their gods, basically, all of the wooden statues that represented
Yeah, that was
deities.
hard.
Yeah, that was hard. Yeah, that was difficult to watch. But so that's kind of what it was. Like you make good deals, that's not what we're talking about, but like at what cost? Like they were just like, okay, we're just gonna go along with it so that we can have better trade deals, but at what expense? So I think that's what Lapu Lapu had really picked up on, and why he was like, no, we're not gonna do that. So
Yeah, we're not having that. And that was the clash of, the three of them really, I think. And then the translation too, there, did you catch that, sis? Like Enrique was translating, but it's in fucking English. Of course, we're in America. But that's also in itself a deep seated colonial like colonization. Like, why weren't they speaking in their native tongue? And why
right.
couldn't Enrique translate? Because in reality, if this was like to the T more integritous,
Mhm.
it would have had English
Mhm.
get dang subs what do you call it,
Subtitles.
subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that to me, I was like, damn, I'm sitting here as a second generation Filipinx American, and
Mhm.
I'm watching this movie. I'm gonna give it like a 5, 4, 3. I don't know, out of 10. Like, and I'm
Mhm.
just cringing at the fact that like it still has to be in English. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? There's other cultures in present day that can watch movies about their culture, and it's actually in their native tongue, and
Yeah.
there's English subtitles. So
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like that bothered me.
Yeah.
That bothered me because
Yeah. Like you said, I don't know what the intention was of the directors slash producers, or what their tie was to the Filipino community or to the Philippines in general, but I would have loved to have seen a more uh authentic retelling with the language, with um better
the cost
costumes.
cost better love story. Like, damn, can we like get a little investment in Enrique and Dewata because they're cute as a couple, but
Yeah,
so
it
so
had
just
potential. That
as
storyline
a
had potential.
it did, and as a like, I don't know if this is like my grad school storyteller, like to give y'all kind of a synopsis of the timeline. Like it opened with, as Sis said, them being happy, and then she woke up from her dream, went back to that timeline, and then in that timeline, which is the most of the movie, like it's really about Magellan. He's like posted at the shores of this place, it's, Mactan or Cebu, that area, and that's why. And then it has like the chiefs kind of consulting, how do we handle them, what do we do, they go back and forth, and then you have Enrique and Dewata doing their little love scenes. Then you got Dewata's like brother, like, no, it's not gonna work. So there's that drama piece in there, the tension's building, and then the Spaniards did what they do, and they made them bow and take Catholicism, and then they started burning villages, um, which I thought was like a nice taste of giving people, such as myself, like a taste of what has happened and what has been going on, and that's like probably a PG ass version, y'all. Like for real. Even the quote, trigger alert, rape scene
Yeah.
was it was cringy, but like it could be so fucking worse,
Yeah.
based upon like what Hollywood can produce.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was, you know, it just makes me think about what's happening right now in Palestine and what has happened on the lands I mean I are on what's happening in Maui and Lahaina, and how this colonization imperialist mindsets have just ruined innocent lives. And it's just like, how much longer is this shit gonna be happening, and for what?
Yeah.
For who?
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
majority of us don't want that shit. It's just these elitist leaders that are somehow in power.
Yeah.
And look at what has happened, So I just bring that all up to say that, yeah, and then the timeline. Going back to the timeline, they fought, and then they had their death scene, and what's her name, Dewada and um, Enrique found each other in the war scene, and then that was it. That
Yeah.
was it, and it was like,
And he
what?
died in her arms. Spoiler alert.
All right, who
But
killed her?
I think her brother, or I don't know, something happened.
Oh
There
yeah,
was a spear that was crossed, or arrow. He didn't really mean to kill him, but
I forgot that scene, sis.
and
Yeah.
then he was just like choking choking on like red water. Again, I am not an actor or an actress, so I am not going to critique too hard. But
You're
at
so
the same time, as just
funny.
someone who watches Netflix, I'm like,
What
kind of.
was the budget? Like, did you have a Filipinx council? Who were they? What was their background? What are their credentials? Like,
I
that's
almost,
what
yeah,
Manang was there, and she's like, did they, like, it's true. Did they consult anybody? Like, who?
yeah. Or were they just like, Filipinos are having a moment, let's capitalize, you know?
Burn some guava leaves for that, sis.
So maybe they're like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
our pain is worth creating a, I don't know what, $50,000 budget movie.
You could
That's
have
a
gone to
good
the
movie.
thrift store and gotten better costumes. I am so sorry.
Ooh, that was a word, sis. Mm.
Where was Jillian? Where's our sis Jillian?
I
She's a
know.
comedian.
I was like, Jillian would have made this better.
Oh, so much. So
um,
much. I wonder if she even saw it. She probably didn't even know what was
I
happening.
told I text her because after I think whatever catch up, I was like, I wished you had been on, because they probably shot it in LA. Like, the director was white, the screenwriter was white. I think, I can be wrong. Y'all take her toss, but
But I
I
bet
think,
they were married to Filipinas. I'm sorry, that was shade.
yeah, and it's just like, I want to, director, you watching this? Sit down with us. I would like to know, like, what was the inspiration? What made you be like, I want to make a movie and I'm gonna do this movie? Like.
Yeah.
And why would you, if you're trying to make money off us, why would you only do it one day, one time? And who was your marketing manager? Like,
We have so many questions.
you could,
There's
yeah,
so many
so
questions.
many. You could have made, if you wanted to make money off, you could have. Like, you really could have, especially
Yeah.
if you had that shit playing all day in San Francisco, Daly City, with those amount of, that population of
Yeah.
that are consciously aware of the
Yeah.
culture, that are like,
Yeah.
awakened to it. You could have cashed in at least another, like, I don't know, 10 to 20 G's in ticket sales.
Yeah, because
Something.
if it's one thing that's going to happen is Filipinos are going to show up and they're going to represent, you know?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. And I think that's the message about. I'm doing research right now on decolonization and colonial mentality and ethnic identity. And I think
Mhm.
one of the things I read, shout out to Professor Nadal and Enrique, is it Enrique? David. He wrote Brown Skin, White Minds. That's another great book. Y'all need to holler at. Like, their work, I read their published work, and the Pinais who wrote that. But the one of the conclusions is, the more that you are involved in spaces with folks who are tapping into their roots, the more that we actually will kind of reverse this colonial mentality and be proud of our roots and who we are, where we came from, and our old practices.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure. Was there a lot of people in your theater?
So what happened was when we purchased, it was like just us. And then when we actually went, I think there was like I don't know, like I told sis, like Tita, Tito. I think they were Asian. I don't know if they're Filipino. I didn't get to see, but they were. They pulled out their phones a couple times during the movie. I don't know if they were texting or they were annoyed because we were loud. All our comments. Because I
Yeah.
think at one point, shout out to Sis Leslie, she was like, I love him. Like Lapu Lapu. Like,
Yeah.
because he was just giving Zaddy at some moments. Like, no, like, just anyways. Uh and then there was actually some white people in there. But I watched it in Walnut Creek.
Yeah. So
How about
when
you?
I
Yeah.
bought the tickets, so I went with my nephew and my friend Christine, and they're both Filipinx. And so when I had bought the tickets for us, there was nobody in there. It was just going to be us. And I was kind of looking forward to that because I was like, oh, we can just be loud. We can clown on the whole thing.
Same.
Because I didn't have high hopes for the movie. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna go see this movie. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna have really high hopes. So
Yeah.
we got in there and there was like 5 titas in the back, and we walk in and they're like, oh, hui. And they're like, are you Filipino? And we're like,
Oh,
yeah.
Ohio
So
Filipinx people are clearly more. I don't know. It was Walnut Creek, California, y'all. If you're from the Bay, then you already know there's hella people in Walnut Creek. Oh,
but the crazy thing was, sis, they didn't even turn off the lights when the movie started. It was so rude.
that
It
is
was just
rude.
that it was just like, what did they
Oh,
just think that didn't matter to us? But it was fine. It was fun in the moment to be with like my
mhm.
nephew and my friend, and just to like, have it was like, you ever seen Mystery Science 3000 where they watch old movies and they just like clown on them? That's kind of how it felt, where
The
you just,
energy you were bringing.
yeah. Yeah. So,
One
but
element, sorry, sis, can I?
no, go ahead.
We did not bring up is the gold projection because that's why the Spaniards stayed because
Yes.
Philip and let's just talk about Raha. I remember I texted you. I was checking I lost my notes. I don't know. Divine was like, you were trying to record shit. Anyways, Raha.
Raha
I am not a
Humabon.
pirate in that sense, but yeah, Raha. It's not Raja. It's Raha Rahumaban. His wifey, she was decked out in gold. Remember?
Yeah.
Um, it was one of those like remember that Pocahontas movie because like John Smith was like, "Oh, we came here for this." He brought out a coin and it was a gold, and Pocahontas was like, "We don't have that here." Anyways, they definitely had it there, but the Spaniards are like, "Oh, we wanted spices, but this is also valuable too, so we're gonna loot this essentially." So those were two things I want to bring up. Philippines has an abundant gold. Gold is there. Gold is there, and yeah, Raha's wifey she had the crown and the
She looked great.
necklace. She
Yeah.
had
Her
actually
costume was good.
her
She probably put on whatever they had for her, and she was like, you know what? I can't.
yes, yes. Did you pick up too on the tones of her counsel to her man Humaban and what Diwata played for Lapu Lapu, like how the men I appreciated that in some ways, like the
Yes.
men need to ask a woman,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like
Yeah.
I think that is a display of some type of like, I don't know, less toxic patriarchal.
Well, yeah, and a nod to how pre-colonial Philippines was more egalitarian. It wasn't so patriarchal or matriarchal. Women and men kind of had equal status.
Yes,
So
yes,
it wasn't out of the ordinary for a chief to get counsel from a Babaylan or from their partner or just another woman in the village who was a leader.
yes, yes.
So I did appreciate that. There are small things in the movie that I can appreciate. But overall, if you want, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, y'all, but if you want to go watch it, go into it with an open mind, have your own
Yeah,
interpretation, and then come
yeah,
back and let us know
yeah,
if you had different thoughts than we
yeah,
did, or expanded thoughts or contradictory thoughts, what
yeah,
have you.
yeah.
All in all, again, we appreciate that there was an attempt for representation during Filipino American History Month, but at the same time, we did not appreciate the costumes and then the fake tattoos. They could have just had no tattoos, honestly.
There,
Like,
yes.
you just don't have any if you're going to do
Or
it.
don't do, like, when you try to do too much, you are doing too much. It was sharpied as fuck. Like,
Oh, it
again.
was.
And I want to say, as you know, at the prescription, take your toss, is to read the book 1521 for
Yes.
yourself. You can, and if you don't have time, we got Brown Girl Cliff Notes for you. Again, it's I's perspective. We recognize that, but we do kind of summarize as best we can the chapters, and you watch the movie, and you can either listen to us before the movie or after the movie. It's up to you. But chances are we're talking the same shit.
Probably.
Because these tats, I'm telling you, terrible. Like, they're honestly, like, I don't want to say in closing, but like Lapu Lapu's titty was what, there were lots, but the left side was more colored in than the right side, and then he popped up again, then they were both colored. Just like,
yeah, there were some inconsistencies in
who's that director?
Yeah.
He hired me. I would take that check. Shit.
But I do remember I texted Steph and I said, I'm glad that we read the book. I feel like I was able to follow the story, or like there are things that came up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually a thing. That
things that we knew
yeah,
that they hit, and there's things that they missed.
Yeah.
Because there was much more in some ways, like there was much more like I'm gonna say reverie. There was much more rapport. Like Magellan was actually, like, they had nights with the Filipinos that they drank and they had a good time, and this was like straight, like, we're gonna come here and take your shit, and it's a scrap, like, let's fight, you know what I mean? So
that was that. Again, thank you and no thank you.
Thank you and no thank you. And again, our opinions are ours. So,
take our toss.
In lieu of taking our tossing, as we close, sis.
Yes.
I just want to invite y'all to take a moment and tap in. Put your hand over your heart. Where are you now? Where's your mind? Where's your body? Where's your spirit? And take a breath, inhale and exhale as you wish. And again, as this take or toss energy, just separate yourselves from us, our words, our thoughts, our opinions. If you can visualize yourself, your aura, your space, your bubble, me, ate, I, me, you. Picture the bubbles just separating. And those comments, feelings, emotions, bring yours into your space. Ours, you can call on Mother Earth for a grounding cord, send it back to her, thank her. And I leave it up to you now to get grounded, with your own special practices. Go eat something nourishing, drink something nourishing, journal, exercise, go outside, sit with the sun, integrate maybe some of the things Ivy said that did resonate with you or didn't. But the point is to come out of your head, back into your body, and to your spirit, your space. Come on here, open your eyes, leave us some love. You feel called. Thank you for listening and tuning in, no matter wherever, whenever that may be.